Jim Farley and Charlie Munger are high. Whatever they're smoking, it's strong stuff. Here's why. The Chinese EV manufacturer that they say is light years ahead of Tesla, well, 95% of their car sales are in China, right? Is that the investment strategy that the world's greatest investors should be recommending to all of us? Invest in a company where 95% of their car sales rely on the one country in the world that is about to hit a massive recession, probably a depression, where 2,500 of its dealers have gone bankrupt in the last 12 months, where we have almost every single car maker there that is selling EVs making billions of dollars of losses. Is this really the correct summation of how a car company should lead by operating in one place where disaster is about to hit? I'm not convinced. Jim Farley and Ford, they are losing sales and market share in China at a rapid pace. And they're saying Tesla is getting spanked and in trouble in China, and that BYD is crushing them, eating them alive. Is this really correct? I have to admit I was a little bit shocked to hear this. Jim Farley has formerly been very effusive in his praise of Tesla. He said they're doing great things. We need to copy them. They're making money. We're not. We're losing $20,000 per car, per EV. Tesla's making money on their EVs. Let's do what they're doing. Now all of a sudden he's saying something completely different. He's saying BYD is miles ahead of Tesla. Is this actually true? Well, here's what he said. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to all the new subscribers, nearly 10,000 over the past month. If you're new to the channel, I'll put some recommended videos in the description because we've done 3,000 over the past 2 years. You're not going to know where to go. I mean, it'd take you half your life to watch all those videos. It feels like it took me half my life to make them. So anyway, check out the description for some of the most recommended videos and the most popular videos on the channel over the past 24 months. Big thank you to all of you. We've just hit 6 million views over the past 28 days. That's an all-time record. It's fantastic to see so many people now wanting to know more about electric cars. That's what's driving this. People wanting to know about something better. People being driven to make a logical, smart decision. And a lot of you were the reason for that. You're telling your friends, guys, what are you doing? Why are you buying that crappy internal combustion engine Toyota? You can get an EV now for the same price. It's the case in many places. I mean, just as a quick example of my point here, ID4, $32,000 US with the $7,000 tax credit. Volkswagen ID4, that's a good car. Bolt and the Bolt EUV, both in the 20,000s. Model Y, $39,000. That's a pretty big size car in the interior. Model 3, cheap as well in the 30s. That means, yeah, it's you've got to be crazy in the US. In many countries, New Zealand, you get $8,000, New Zealand dollars, by the way, but still it's a lot of money. Many places now, it's cheaper to buy an EV and a much better choice. Now, Ford, they know that people want EVs. They said they had their iPhone moment last year. We didn't know everyone was going to love EVs. We had 220,000 pre-orders for the Ford F-150 Lightning, but we still didn't think people were going to love EVs. But then it hit us. Weird, right? I think that was weird anyhow. Ford are currently ranked the number 3 player in the electric vehicle market, according to Benzinga. And they're now setting their sights on China, which is the world's largest EV market. Jim Farley said, "We're going to have to rethink what the Ford brand means in a place like China." He delved into the mushrooming competition in China, saying a hot and happening EV market. It can't be like the middle of the market. It's totally overfilled, he said. Meaning there's too many electric cars, too many models, too much choice. But Ford had no choice but to go down that route. Ford have already discounted the Mustang Mach-E to insanely low prices. It's cheaper than a Tesla Model Y, which is already very, very affordable, very cheap. And it costs about $40,000 US in China. It's cheaper than that, but they're not really selling. Farley said the only premium brands succeeding in the country were all electric from the start, with a focus on technology, digital experience of drivers and services. Now, personally, I see the only brand succeeding in China right now as really being BYD, Tesla, and Aeon. I mean, if anyone else is succeeding or making a profit, let me know who they are, because I don't know of them. I mean, I keep asking this question. I keep saying, who else is making money selling EVs anywhere in the world other than those three? No one's said anything. No one's sent me an email saying, hey, Sam, Electric Viking, you're missing this. You're missing this. I'm like, I keep waiting. I've received thousands of messages and emails and all kinds of people contact me about various things. But I've asked this question so many times: who are all these car companies succeeding selling EVs? I mean, they're making massive losses. That's not a success. Yes, you need to move to EV sales, absolutely, but can you do it? I mean, can you move away from selling 5% of your cars as EVs to 100%? If you're losing $10,000 to $20,000 per car? No, you can't. Of course you can't. I mean, if you've got a debt, that's the point that Elon Musk was making that people missed. They missed this point. If you're in debt, right? If you've got an average, the automakers have an average of between around 10 billion to 200 billion in debt. All of them do. There's none that are debt-free and that have EV factories producing cars. So it's very hard for them to just suddenly go from producing, say, Toyota 0.2% EV. Even the Volkswagen Group, they're only at 6% right now. The differentiation, Ford says the differentiation is with respect to technology and services. Farley said that NIO, XPeng, and Li Auto were among the companies that were getting it right. I don't know if Jim Farley's been paying attention for the last 6 months, because XPeng, for example, their sales have tanked. They've gone to the toilet. Their stock price has gone down. It's crashed. Sales have crashed. No one knows what's going on with them. It's a total basket case. I dumped my stocks. I told you guys to do the same because I don't know what's going on there. Crazy. Li Auto, they only make plug-in hybrids. That's not the future. Come on, he knows that. So it's really only NIO. But even NIO's struggling a bit. Their sales are down. Their pre-orders, for example, their most popular car, more than 60% of the vehicles that NIO currently sell are one model called the ET5. It's their new cheap model, and now there's no wait times for that. You can order now, you'll get the car in 2 weeks because they're made to order. There's none. So that's not really succeeding as well. Like I said, there's only 3 car companies that are really succeeding, and I don't think Jim Farley even knows who they are because it's none of the brands that he mentioned. It's BYD, Tesla, and Aeon. I don't know. Jim says some strange things sometimes that indicate he's probably doesn't have the time to really research what's going on in China, because that's what's going on. So Farley said that this is the segment in which EV leader Tesla Inc. competes with its Model Y. It is because of the overcapacity in the segment that most domestic EV makers are eyeing Europe, a premium export market. And on that, he's absolutely correct, which should be scary for European automakers. They're coming. BYD is impressive, he said. Farley reserved special praise for Warren Buffett-backed BYD company and lauded it for its vertical integration. There is one huge company that is so impressive, it's BYD. They're in a totally different world than Tesla, the Ford CEO said. They're totally vertically integrated completely all the way to batteries. Why is this important? Ford has a presence in China. Although its performance leaves much to be desired, its sales in the country comprise mainly its internal combustion engine vehicles. Data available from the company showed that its Chinese sales fell 11% year over year in the third quarter of 2022. Despite operating out of China for a long time and having a manufacturing plant in the country, Tesla hasn't been able to compete effectively with the domestic upstarts, claim Benzinga and Ford. Analysts say the absence of an ultra-affordable EV could be hurting Tesla. Is this true? Well, in the last report we have for Tesla sales, for in fact all Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers' sales from last week, Tesla actually was second in China. In fact, they're second in China in EV sales this year. I'd say that's not failing in China. In fact, Tesla's doing extremely well in the hardest market to compete in. It's like going in the Super Bowl, right? You make it to the Super Bowl, you don't win the Super Bowl, you come second, and everyone says you're a failure. You failed, you lost the Super Bowl. Well, what about recognizing the fact you made it to the Super Bowl in the first place? That's essentially what China is. It's this tough battleground where people are ripping each other's arms and legs off. at the expense of knowing that they're going to lose an arm or a leg by just entering this market. What do I mean by that? Well, they're losing billions and billions of dollars are being lost to get market share. That's where Tesla's competing. Ford are losing sales. Tesla are actually gaining them in China. That's not really a bad thing. Now, are BYD ahead of Tesla in China? Well, if you listen to Charlie Munger, who is about 175 years old, then yeah, I mean, BYD are miles ahead of Tesla in China. But considering the fact that BYD, 95% of their electric car sales are in China, well, they're extremely dependent upon that. Now, that is a bit of a risky strategy, you've got to say, right? If for Tesla, for example, if 95% of Tesla's car sales right now were only in the United States, all the analysts worldwide would be panning the hell out of them. They'd be saying, wow, Tesla's strategy, it's so risky. All their eggs are in one basket, in one area. Charlie Munger would be saying, well, Tesla, you guys are crazy. We'd never invest in you. You're only invested in one country. Sure, you're trying to sell your EVs in other countries, but that's only 5% of your sales. I mean, this is so dangerous. Yeah, there you go. Two sides to the coin, right? Two ways of looking at this. Tesla and BYD are both doing incredibly well. They're both having insane success. Tesla makes more profit per car. BYD sells more cars. Let's consider the fact that both of them are in the Super Bowl and everyone else is playing just to stay in the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Disclaimer, I am invested in BYD, but I'm also invested in Tesla. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a BYD car or you should just buy Tesla, or you should just buy Tesla stock, or you should buy BYD stock. But let's be frank here. Right now, BYD are in fact, even though they make their own batteries, they're very vertically integrated, as Jim Farley says, and as I'll share with you his comments in this video, that is true. But they are in a very risky situation right now. Why no one is mentioning this? Why none of the financial analysts in the US, whether that's Berkshire Hathaway, the so-called geniuses of investing, why none of them are pointing out the facts, which are this. The Chinese auto market is a complete basket case today. It is in a situation where they have millions of cars simply sitting around in parking lots that they are dumping at ridiculously low prices. How long can this situation last? How long can you compete in a market like this when your competition is willing to sell at a massive loss in order to get market share and take it away from you? Thank you for watching.